Cheers. Alaska.
To democracy.
Oh, democracy. First questions. Filipinos rule the world?
Oh, are you starting? Yes. Wait. We're winning.
Winning.
Mm-hmm.
What's winning in the Filipino community?
What's winning in the Filipino community? Well, we got two Olympic gold medals over the past few years.
Shout out.
And
You're everywhere.
and we're everywhere.
Healing everyone.
And we have a month.
And you have a month.
Am I
that?
Yeah?
You did.
That's true. What's going on? What are we doing? Is this test footage? Are we doing it? Is this real? What's
Everything's
the protocol?
real. Now.
You're live.
Okay, we are live.
Well, here we are on Tlingit Ani
Mhm.
and Aquan, also known as Juneau, Alaska. We have made this beautiful space, your office, the spotlight, this place for the Native Movement Half Smoke podcast. I'm today's host, Brittany. I'm from Rampart.
Rampart.
And
Shout
I'm
out.
with
Genevieve Mina. I am a legislator representing House District 19, which is Airport Heights, Mountain View, and Russian Jack in Anchorage, Alaska. I was born and raised in Anchorage, but my family all emigrated from the Philippines to Alaska in the 90s and the 2000s. I went to Betty Davis East High School, go T-Birds, and the basketball team just won the third three-peat.
Three-peat.
And East High history. I'm just saying, that's incredible.
That's your NBA.
Seriously, that's my 90s Chicago Bulls. Is the triple three-peat for East High. So
Oof.
good. Went to UAA. I've been involved in politics and organizing for almost a decade at this point, which is kind of wild. And I love Alaska.
All your life, you're going to be here.
Mm-hmm. Wait a second. Why are you asking me questions? Why can't I ask you questions?
That was never off the table.
Whoa. Tell me about your earrings.
Gifted from my mother. She is one of the best earring gifters.
Show.
And then I got this.
Who made it?
I don't know. And
no
then
credit.
I know.
Ooh.
And then this was at AFN, and I need to get the artist as well.
Oh, no credit either.
Delula, though.
Mm-hmm.
Delula.
Mm-hmm.
Greenland.
Wow.
No credit.
Are they kissing?
They're talking.
Oh, okay.
It's just me and you right now.
Oh, okay. That's incredible.
Greenland.
Okay.
Sami.
Mm-hmm.
Navajo. From Cake.
Oh.
Little worldwide.
Yeah.
Call me Pitbull.
Are you Alaskan on the globe?
I'm an Alaskan on the globe. Okay. Tell us.
Okay. I don't know who made these, but these are supposed to look like the Filipino stars on the flag, like the sun. Because the sun is a star, as we know. And these were gifted to me by another Filipino legislator in Hawaii, Representative Trish LaChica. Shout out.
Queen.
Love her. She's got great socials, very kind. And we were both president of Young Democrat chapters in our state. So I was president of Alaska Young Democrats. She was president of Hawaii Young Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got elected, and then she got appointed to the legislature.
Filipinos winning. Speaking of a game.
Okay.
I'm going to say a word or phrase, and you respond in any way that you want. Thought, reflection. Okay.
I can say more than a
anything.
word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swagapino.
History.
Still going.
Do I have to say more?
No.
Okay.
Handmade jewelry.
Required.
Essential. Okay. Thrifting.
Expensive.
What is going
What is going on?
on?
Ever since Thrift Shop came out, Macklemore produced a thriftflation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since they learned what ivory was at the thrift store,
It was all over.
it was
And
over.
after he released that song and it got big, where was he? Alaska. He performed at UAA.
Ooh, he brought it.
Yeah, he brought it.
He brought the trend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next word.
But he's good.
He's good.
He
Thank
is
you.
good. Yeah.
Shout out.
Macklemore, shout out.
Zero waste.
Can we add them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, zero waste.
Pro.
You are.
I'm very pro.
I'm a witness.
Yeah, I love I hate trash.
God forbid.
Yeah, litter.
It's not traditional.
Pick
It's
it
not
up.
traditional.
Yeah.
Okay. Cooking with leftovers.
Frugal. Resourceful.
Creative.
Creative. Cheap. Freezer.
Ziploc.
Ziploc. Stasher bags.
Keep them on you.
Keep it on you. Yeah.
Biking.
Only to move from point A to point B. When people are like, oh, I did a bike ride today. I'm like, I don't want to bike in a circle. But I wouldn't take that away from anybody ever. But a loop? Moose loop?
Where there's moose?
No, I got to go to work. Yeah. A to B.
Helmet, please.
Helmet, please.
Healthcare.
2 words.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little white dogs.
Generally supportive. It's not universal.
Mm-hmm.
Every dog should be loved.
Every dog should be loved.
And some dogs are hard to love.
But someone's there for them.
Someone's there for them.
Last one. Podcast at 2 times speed.
Efficient. Because sometimes I get a little bored and then I'm like getting ready in the morning and I want to know what the news is. So if I can just inject the news into my brain while I'm doing my morning routine, then I don't have to read it.
There's a community view out there. Amazing.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that I'm going to probably listen to this on 2 times speed afterwards.
I can't wait to hear how we hear. How we hear.
How we hear. How we listen.
We listen. And you've had a pretty successful run. I think one of the coolest, there's a lot of cool things you did, was the month.
The month. Oh, are you talking about legislation?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I passed a bill that became law. And so it was my first bill that I introduced in the legislature, and my first piece of legislation, because there's laws and there's also resolutions that we pass. I carried Filipino American History Month, and for context, how this got brought up. My parents, Filipino, all my family emigrated from the Philippines. I'm born and raised here in Alaska, but being Filipino is literally what I am. And so what happened was that after I got elected in November of 2022, and before I was sworn in and officially was representing the district, Senator L.V. Gray Jackson reached out to me about co-sponsoring and carrying the companion legislation for Filipino American History Month. Senator Gray Jackson used to serve on the Anchorage Assembly for about 9 years, I think 9 years. And she was actually my assembly member for Midtown Anchorage. And a huge part of her career is honoring different cultures and communities. And that is a legacy that she's continued on in her service in the legislature. So she consistently honors a lot of different communities with different months and holidays. And when she reached out to me about Filipino American History Month, I thought, of course, I'll do it. And, I really looked up to LV too when I first started to get into politics. I carried that bill. And one of the great things about carrying it was that I was in the minority. And when you're in the minority, you're not really expected to pass any bills. It's an uphill battle. And it was also my freshman year. So a lot of carrying this piece of legislation was me interacting with different offices for the first time. The other thing that was interesting with Filipino American History Month is that I used to be a SCFer. And so there are a lot of legislators that I'd known and had meetings with, but they would introduce themselves to me like, oh my gosh, it's so good to meet you. And I just think, we've had meetings. Like we've talked about bills and legislation before. The great thing with Filipino American History Month, though, was that it was incredibly bipartisan and it was supported unanimously. And so I was able to really get to know a lot of different legislators through the bill, and having legislators talk about, their experiences and friends from the Filipino community and just the appreciation of Filipinos in the state. And that legislation was signed into law by the governor. The other fun thing with Filipino American History Month is that during the bill signing, that governor's office was packed with like 5-foot-tall Filipino women.
Everyone came through.
Everyone came through. Everyone really came through. I mean, there were Filipinos from the Matsu with the Matsu Kabayan. They had driven down for the bill ceremony. It was really great to see the Filipino community come out to be recognized officially by our state government in law forever. The difference between a bill and just honoring the month every single year is that a bill means it is in our state laws for good.
You have to.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my first law. And there were so many Filipino American History Month celebrations later that October. I have a lot of other Filipino friends around our age who were organizing the Mana project, where they took pictures and shared stories of Filipino elders who usually are really like neglected. And that was a huge museum exhibit. So it's like I went to Ketchikan, I went to Juneau, and the Matsu and Anchorage. And then last year I went to Fairbanks. It's just really cool to see a bill become law. And it's not just like, oh, it's just a month, who cares? No, it really means that communities across the state are invigorated to come out and celebrate in a way that didn't really happen prior to the bill. So it's good.
I had the honor and privilege of going to the celebration in Fairbanks, and that was everything. You got to speak, which is when I learned a lot about the history of Filipinos in Alaska. I got to see all the dancing, and that is a full production.
They went out. They really went all out.
They had traditional, all the music instruments, whole outfits, props.
The props.
Background.
Yeah.
I was on Broadway.
Yeah. It was good.
It was good.
It was really good. Everyone was a good singer.
And then, as the whole community knows, best singers ever, then the food, it was piled.
It was good.
It was good. And so that's why I wanted to start that question, because what is the greatness of both being Filipino and in Alaska? Because you're in your own, that's own history, everything.
Exactly. Yeah, we're in our own category, right? And oh, what's this?
Oh,
a book? Have you heard of this?
I've seen it. I know of it. I need to read it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, this is Filipinos in Alaska. And let me tell you about a woman named Thelma Buckold.
Queen.
Thelma Buckold was the first Filipino legislator that was elected to a state legislature, first woman, Filipino. And she was elected in the early 1970s. That's a little picture of her right there.
Got you.
And when I was interning in the legislature, I was really curious about whether there were other Filipinos that were ever elected to the Alaska legislature. And then I learned about Thelma. And Thelma's legacy for Filipinos in Alaska is incredible, because it wasn't just about supporting the community, but as a legislator, like, she helped found the Boys and Girls Club of Alaska.
Wow.
She helped fund and create the Asian American cultural center in Anchorage. And she also helped with creating this history of Filipinos in Alaska that didn't exist prior. So Filipinos have been in Alaska, and the earliest record is 1788. And Filipinos were part of the canneries in the early 20th century. Filipinos have been in Ukayagvik as part of whaling ships. They are obviously like working in our healthcare industry, but they've also had an extensive history with military service. And so what's really great about this book is that it archives a lot of the different families that have been in Alaska for many, many different generations. And Filipinos were really instrumental with a lot of civil rights issues in the state. One of the earliest Filipino organizations in Alaska is the Filipino community here in Juneau. And when they were first building their Filipino community hall, and it's still one of the only Filipino centers in the state, they were building it because they wanted a refuge from discrimination that they were feeling and also Tlingit people were experiencing during that time. And there were a lot of Tlingit and Filipino families who ended up marrying and starting families. And so there's a lot of that kinship and solidarity also with Filipinos and other indigenous people in the state. So it's just really great to have this archive and to be able to just talk about that Filipino history. And for me, like I didn't feel very Filipino growing up, and I knew nothing about Filipino American history in the United States, nevertheless in Alaska. And so when I started to learn more, like I thought like, oh wow, we've been a part of this place. Yeah.
And now iconic people when they're mixing the culture. We always talk about Crystal Worrell.
Crystal Worrell?
Crystal Worrell. We're thinking about you, girl.
Yeah. Montorres?
Come on. Anyway, we love them.
We love.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
For such a great, holistic Filipinos in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Your family.
My family.
Your family.
Filipino.
How did they get to Alaska?
How did my family get to Alaska? I think I should start out with my dad and then with my mom. So my dad, and he's passed away now, but my dad emigrated to California. So he's from Bangar La Union. My dad's side is Ilocano. And he was petitioned to come live with his parents who had also moved to California. And he worked seasonally between California farms and Alaska fisheries. And that's actually a history that's been going on for over 100 years. They're called Alasqueros, so Filipinos who work seasonally. And my father was part of that generation. And so he had been in Alaska for a little bit. Then my mom's side is from Iloilo, but she grew up in Lucena City, so the Quezon province. My mom's side is Ilonggo. My mom was a nurse, and a friend from high school who had moved to America was married to a guy who was friends with my dad. Basically, my mom and dad were pen pals, wrote letters to each other.
Old school.
But like that, it's a thing. It is a thing that I didn't realize how popular it was until the Mana exhibit, where I read someone else's story and they were like, yeah, we were pen pals. And I was like, everybody was writing letters.
The way they used to slide into the DMs.
Seriously, like, how are you? Literally. And so they were writing letters got intercepted, reconvened.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. And when my dad traveled to the Philippines to marry my mom, that was the first time they'd met in person. Anyway, Dad went back to America. Brother was born in the Philippines. And when my dad moved back to America, he decided he wanted to start his family in Alaska. So when my mom finally was able to get a visa to come over to America with my brother, they joined my dad in Alaska. So my mom was working in healthcare, and she's been a nurse, and she's still a nurse for over 35 years. And then my dad was working all the different odd jobs. So, custodian, taxi driver, pizza delivery driver, some fisheries work, and just, post office.
He did construction
Worked on the
too,
base.
right?
No.
Oh, he just built a house?
No.
Oh, I was lied to. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but what's it called? So, yeah, he was a custodian, taxi cab driver, worked as a cook in the mess hall at J Bear, pizza driver for Pizza Olympia, post office. Just a lot of the different jobs that you see, like Filipinos work in Alaska.
He fulfilled each one.
He really fulfilled each one.
Side quest.
Right. And then eventually my parents decided that they wanted to be more independent and start their own small business. And my family ran assisted living homes for about 20 years, called Genevieve Assisted Living Home.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And it's needed. They did that.
Yeah,
they took care of our elders.
Yeah, elders with Alzheimer's and dementia. And still, it's really fascinating because my mom has taken care of so many elders. And, when she comes to the legislature, like my family, they were not involved in politics at all. And then when she was here, like a few months ago, she was meeting Representative Jimmy, and she was like, Jimmy, I know your mom. And she was like, huh. And Representative Jimmy is from Tuxtla Bay.
Wow.
So it's like there's so much of this crossover with different communities, especially when you're a healthcare worker taking care of elderly people, because sometimes people have to go through Anchorage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of time.
Everyone knows everyone here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you were born.
And I was born.
And now you're here.
And I'm here.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you come from this extremely rich history. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you had to kind of find it.
Yeah.
You had to do your own research.
Yeah, I did not know this stuff about my family at all growing up because they never talked about their history or their background. So I really had to find all of these different pieces. And I'm like, what an incredible story. Like, what a happenstance that my parents were able to meet each other, writing letters that almost got intercepted, and that my family was able to emigrate to America and move up to Alaska, and that I live in Alaska. The other wild thing that I just learned last summer is I found out about a relative who told me about the full origin story of my family being in America.
What?
Yes. Yeah, because my friends who went to a Filipino conference were attending a panel with a guy whose last name was Mina, and they asked me, like, do you know this guy? And I'm like, oh, I've heard of his name before. And it was a conference about, related to Filipino American National Historical Society. Mm-hmm. This individual is the chair of the FONS, that's the initialism, of the FONS Museum. And they were asking him questions, and I was like telling them a few relatives to see like how we could be related. And it turns out he was my dad's cousin.
Wow.
So he's my first cousin once removed, and he's the chair of a Filipino American History Museum situation. And so he knows his family tree, and he's like, my dad petitioned your dad's father to come to America because my dad served in World War II and was part of the Filipinos who fought on behalf of the Americans and were granted American status to move to the United States. And it was 250,000 Filipinos who fought for the U.S. during World War II. And decades later, those Filipinos would finally be recognized with the Congressional Medal of Freedom. And so when I just learned this last summer after I passed the Filipino American History Month law. And so like I'm still learning things about my own family history and how that connects to this broader Filipino American history that I never knew about. And it's just really wild to think that, you know, the real origin of my family being here also just dates back to military history that I never thought that I had any connection to.
And you connected with a cousin who's also doing amazing work.
with
Whole
Filipino American history.
family excellence.
Wild. And then we found each other.
What did it take
Okay, go.
for you to learn all that family history? What was your journey growing up and returning to all this knowledge? Or
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I did not grow up feeling very Filipino at all. Most Filipinos, or I should say, the majority of Filipinos are raised Catholic, and they have like these big families. And you know, when you grow up as a second generation immigrant, so when your parents emigrated over, but you're born here, you feel left out because you also want to know your own language. And when your family is speaking in Tagalog at home and you don't understand what's going on, like that's super alienating. So, like, I didn't know the language. I wasn't raised Catholic, and we didn't join, or we weren't involved in any of the Filipino organizations. And I didn't really have Filipino friends, especially as I got older, like in high school. So it felt very awkward for me to really claim or take pride in being Filipino. And that's interesting because Filipinos are very prideful, and we're so proud of ourselves and our history. But I just didn't feel that connection to my community, and I didn't know anything about the history of Filipinos. Additionally, you know, my mom's a nurse, and I think there's a lot of expectations when you grow up Filipino that you're going to go to nursing school. And I realized that that wasn't the path for me. It was my original path when I was like 6.
you were dreaming.
I was dreaming, and then I realized, you know what? I like volunteering. I like public service. I like policies. I like talking, and I don't think I fit
What were
into
the
nursing.
first signs of that? What were
In
the
high
first-
school.
In high school?
Yeah. But yeah, it was in high school. But with just feeling this awkwardness about being Filipino, in terms of like that, what got me through that journey, it was as I got involved in politics and I attended conferences for young Filipino professionals. And then I met other young Filipino Americans from around the nation who also didn't speak Tagalog, and they weren't raised Catholic, or they're not practicing Catholic, but they were involved in activism, and they were involved in all these different fields that I didn't see other Filipino Americans in. And in Alaska, like there's not a lot of young people in politics and community organizing anyway. Nevertheless, Asian American Pacific Islanders, nevertheless Filipinos. And so to meet other people who were similarly doing the work that I was doing made me realize that, you know what, I can take pride in who I am and really lean into me being Filipino and being involved. And so as I started to gain more confidence in being Filipino, really learning about the history and knowing that activism has been a huge part of Filipino American history. The 1965 grape strike, which Cesar Chavez has been a huge leader in the Latino Union farm workers, with the Latino farm workers. That strike started by Filipinos, by Larry Itliong, who initiated that boycott when other people were more reticent to speak out on that. And so learning that Filipino Americans have been involved in organizing and they have been very political just gave me a lot of confidence that, you know what, I'm on the right path, and I'm really it feels like a greater duty and obligation that's already been a part of my ancestors and people who came before me.
With knowing all this history, learning your family, meeting people from across the nation, what were all the signs that got you to this point, and you know what other people could be like, maybe this is for me?
Yeah. So I spent last night reading really old journal entries on my computer from high school.
You have those saved where?
Oh, I can't say.
Okay.
That's a secret.
Secret.
And I was just in a really sentimental mood. And I've been going through like past video recordings and memos from over the years. I grew up really, really, really shy. Like I never wanted to like even do like any sports or like piano lessons or just anything where I would be in a room with strangers. And I also grew up pretty sheltered, so I wasn't allowed to hang out with a lot of kids or go to sleepovers until like later on in my teenage years. So I grew up very shy and kind of isolated. And it wasn't until high school where I was interested in volunteering, but just really nervous about how to do that because my family, they hadn't really been involved in the community at all. So I did clubs.
Cool kid at the clubs.
So I was clubbing. I was really clubbing in high school. I did.
Name a few.
Hey. Started out with chess club.
Strong.
Became secretary. Mu Alpha Theta, which is the math club, became president.
Ooh.
Key Club became president. National Honor Society.
Twit.
Hey! President.
Secretary.
Not close enough. Yeah. Upward leadership. And then I also did band council. I was a band kid, saxophone. So I did jazz band, symphonic band. I love doing things. So it started out with one club, and then I just got hooked with just helping. And I think being a part of a club was a more organized way where I felt comfortable breaking out of my shell. But then people always need a secretary. They need someone to take notes. And I'm like, I'm so good at taking notes. Easy.
Got you.
Right. So they got me, and it was this accidental upward trajectory into saying yes to a lot of different things. And then once I got into my junior year of high school, like I was interested in the debate team because I was like a big mumbler and I wasn't good at trying to verbalize my thoughts. But one of my best friends was on the debate team, Drama, Debate, and Forensics, DDF. Shout out.
Ooh, DDF.
DDF kids. Different breed. Built different.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and he pushed me to join the DDF team. I did public forum debate for 2 years. Loved it.
Ate it up.
And it really helped me with my public speaking. And I loved learning about different topics and just trying to wrap my mind around things. I think part of it, too, is that I've always been a very curious person. I don't like being told what to think or how to feel about different issues. I'm like, I want to come to my own conclusions, and I want to know that I did the research. And then I want to be able to speak about it, and then I want to be able to consider different things. And debate was all of that. And so I did debate, loved it, and then, I went to East High, and UAA was right around the corner. I had scholarships, and UAA has an internationally ranked debate program. Like, they are so good. And so, of course, I wanted to go to UAA for the debate team. And there was like no other question. I didn't want to go to any other university. So I went to UAA. I debated with the Seawolf debate team for 4.5 years. And part of me going to UAA and being on the debate team was actually having to go to college. So the debate team came first to me, and the degree came after. I was studying.
You knew. Subconsciously, you knew.
Subconsciously, I knew, but I didn't want to admit it because I was like, I gotta go to college.
Yeah.
And I was studying biology. Yeah.
STEM girly over here.
I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a lesson. Just because you're good at something, if you don't love it and you're forcing yourself to do it,
it's over.
It's over. You don't have to keep doing it.
Live the life you love.
Debate. Well, then... Fight verbally. Then this is what happened. Same friend, Ray, shout out.
Shout out,
Ray. Same friend who got me into debate was the same friend who got me into politics.
Wow.
Game changer.
Good peer pressure.
Shout out. Changed my life. And he was making phone calls for a local race in Anchorage. And he was like, do you want to volunteer? And I said, no.
No, thank you.
Yeah, because after high school, I don't know if you went through this, I was like, no more clubs. I'm done volunteering.
No politics.
Nope, nothing for me. I've got school, I've got debate, and I just started a part-time job as a medical receptionist. I'm making
Honoring your roots.
Honoring my roots. Well, then I also wanted to like be better at phone calls because I have phone anxiety. So I was like, I'm gonna be a receptionist.
I wouldn't know this about you.
I leaned into discomfort. There's a continuing theme in my life. So I started doing, so I was volunteering on my first campaign, and part of it for me and how I got persuaded to do it was, you know what, I'll try it out. I'll make some phone calls. And they gave me a little script, and I thought, you know what, I'll make the phone calls, and then I did them, and it wasn't that bad. And when you talk to your first older lady who's like, thank you so much for the call, if it's just great.
Angel.
It is, yes, because then you feel like, oh my gosh, I volunteered for something local, and then someone just thanked me that I don't know, that they now know more about their local election.
Yeah.
And I just loved that feeling of being able to help. And I started to learn more about like, okay, I'm such a curious person. I want to know how things work. I like to help. And I also love Anchorage. I've never wanted to leave the city. And so me getting involved in campaigns and politics was just this journey of discovering how much I have always been rooted in my community. And that was never something that really drove me growing up, but it was just this like realization of everything that I'd been doing, and that the things that always attracted me in terms of different work and interest. So I had debate, volunteering on campaigns, and learning about local politics. I was so hooked on local politics. And then also college was over here. I was like, oh yeah. So then I finally, studied poli-sci, and that gave me opportunities to pursue different internships related to government and policy. So I did my legislative internship in 2017 in the Capitol. And then I also did an internship in DC later that summer. I was able to work on more campaigns and work as an assembly aide throughout college. And then, I dabbled a little bit doing nonprofit work and came back to the Capitol as a staffer. I just loved it. I love politics.
And you're still in it.
I'm still in it.
How was learning this is who you are, this is what you love, this is what you're about, going for it?
So going back to the digital journal entries and the voice memos in reverse, I definitely did not know what I really wanted to do when I was a teenager. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to follow my instincts and just keep doing things that I like doing.
Intuition.
But there is a little bit of a time frame where once I started to get involved in local campaigns, I got involved with the Alaska Young Democrats and met other young people who are also just obsessed with local politics, and they knew the history. They knew the background. They knew the drama. They knew people's beef. They knew different contexts and dynamics. And I was like, I want to know more. What's going on? Like, what's the tea?
Bring it in.
And, whatever campaign it was, like, I was always like interested, and I wanted to help. I always showed up to the phone banks, and I kept coming across people who have been involved in politics and government for way longer than I had, who were like, you should run for office one day. And I thought, no.
Oh, you're being nice.
Yeah, you're just being nice. But the more that I dabbled into opportunities to volunteer and get involved, the more I realized that I like people. I love Alaska. I love learning about policies, and I'm very curious. I love mess.
You love yapping.
I love yapping. And I love mess in terms of the fact that I love taking something that's a little bit chaotic, whether it's an issue and people don't know what to do about it, or there's tensions between different people, and try to work with folks to make something happen. And that started up with like doing clubs in high school. And it still continued on to serving in the legislature, trying to pass a bill, trying to pass a budget, and serving 18,000 people. It's just a lot more official.
And you love blazers. You love the fashion for it.
I love blazers. Well, DDF kid.
You've been in it.
What's a DDF tournament every month if not an opportunity to
elevate
the
fashion? You know, one of my favorite things about you is the fashion is always on point. And what is it like being one of the most fashionable people in the Alaska legislature?
Thank you. I love it. I love bringing new color into the Capitol. And I think part of my fascination with politics and government is that I think I've always loved the mundane. I love boring things. I love policy.
It is true about you.
Yeah, I love talking about healthcare being 2 words. Yeah, that's been a very, very consistent theme in my life. And I'm fascinated by things that seem a little bit boring. And part of that is in politics and government, people wear a lot of black, they wear a lot of gray, they wear a lot of traditional professional wear.
Traditional.
Right. And I got into thrifting in high school. I went through an era, let me just say, I was a victim of twee in the early 2010s. And by the time I got to my senior year of high school, and when you really grow into yourself, I was doing the clubs. I was wearing tights every single day, different colored tights. I had every color of the rainbow. I was thrifting. I had Peter Pan collars, Forever 21, rest in peace. I was in it. And then that has just carried on through like my life. I love thrifting. My family loves thrifting. I love being resourceful, and it's fun to, express that creativity and my own personality in what I wear. I also love Barbie growing up. And then I repressed it. I went through 2 years of just wearing gray sweaters, and then the color just came back, and it just makes me happy.
Yeah.
And you find tiny little things in a really difficult job, especially like politics is hard. Like politics is not for everybody, and it is really emotional. It's taxing. And if you can find little things that make you smile while you do the work to serve your community, do it. And what makes me smile is color. I like having a pink floor binder. I love having fun little plastic folders that have Sanrio characters on them while I am carrying legislation to promote public transit or help fund behavioral health crisis services. And all of that makes the legislature just a less overwhelming and more approachable to people. And part of the work that I've been doing is wanting more regular people who are more representative of different communities who aren't usually in institutions of power to be involved and to know how to use their voice and to run for office, work as staffers, and really grow our own power and our community in the places where we feel like we don't have power. So add a little bit of color, and it helps people see the light and see what's going on in here.
Beacon. Come in.
It's a
come
beacon.
Through.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. And the other thing that I love too is, fashion isn't just about expressing what you like and what you think looks good, but I also do it to help support local makers, people from different communities. I love, these little earrings. It's nice wearing things that just remind me of other people. This ring, actually, I got this when we were together at WEO. In Fairbanks. And this blazer is actually a traditionally woven blazer in the Philippines. The Ilocano weave is called inabel, and so this is like an inabel weave, I believe. And this is made by like indigenous Filipinos, and I'm half Ilocano, so it's like I'm literally representing part of my culture with this blazer. And it's very subtle, but I just love that. Like, oh, I do have a little bit of history and a fun fact, with the things that I wear. This is thrifted. I also love that, anybody can be fashionable, and I don't think a price tag should be a limit on that. Also, I got these at AFN.
The slippers.
Yeah, and these
I'm
are
gonna grab your leg.
Oh.
Queen.
They're office slippers.
Office slippers.
Yeah.
See, that is what I love about, especially in Alaska, I feel like the fashion always carries your people, your friends, your gifts, the love. And so...
And everything has meaning.
Everything has meaning.
Oh, and another layer of it too for me is that, there's a lot of talk about fast fashion and people feeling like they have to like buy all these different products, especially like on social media. And I haven't fallen into that at all because I love buying things in real life. And I love like the journey, when you go into Bishop's Attic and you're like, what's here? Is there anything for me?
I loved the story you had too when you were at Arts and Crafts Fair and you picked these earrings and the artist was like, I finished these
last night, 2 a.m. I've never done this before.
And she's like, I just knew someone needed it. And it was you. So it's always, there's that story.
There's a story with everything.
You're
right. Compared to like when you buy something online from a website.
Throw it out. It ends up in the garbage.
Yeah. Who made it?
No story. So tying all these things together, your community, Alaska, family, self, fashion, drama, yapping, being nosy. What's the vision? What's the vision for you? What do you want for Alaska? What do you want for your people, your family?
Yeah. I love Alaska. Like, I've always loved Alaska. Alaska's always been my number one love. And I care really deeply about where the state goes and wanting to make sure that future generations grow up and thrive in the same love and support of the community that has brought me into this place. I feel like it really is a duty and obligation that I feel really strongly to serve my community. There's a value in Filipino psychology called kapwa, and that basically means your interconnectedness with everybody around you, where I don't want to treat someone else badly because it's like I'm treating myself badly. And I just feel that interconnectedness with the privilege of being able to grow up on lands and waters in Alaska. And so I think that's a lot of that's really what's been driving a lot of my work, is to see like, okay, what can I help support that I can uniquely do, and where are those gaps that are needed? And then also, how do I give back and continue this work? Because organizing and having a movement, it's not about doing it alone. And, as a little embroidery thing that somebody handmade who lives in Fairbanks, because everything has a story, on that thing, that's a quote from Parks and Recreation, which is a TV show that also helped me get interested into local government.
Show.
All connected. No one achieves anything alone.
Never.
No. So it really is me trying to do my best to help serve the state and move Alaska forward for future generations, and also knowing that I can't do it alone, and I want other people to be a part of this movement.
That was beautiful. And I am so proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I'm so happy we got connected, and I get to be more brought into our state in the politic world that I was never really felt connected to. And I see you connecting with people all the time, asking them your connections involved, impacted, and you have a great way of doing that. And you're funny, you're cool, you're talented, you're amazing. Auntie, cousin, daughter, friend, everything.
Pet owner.
Pet owner. Mother. Ish.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to be around so much, it's good to be around so much good people who are doing this work, because if I was surrounded with not the best people, it would be really hard.
It'd be not the best.
It would be not the best.
But it's the best now.
It's the best. And I'm just also just privileged to work with a lot of really great people in politics and in community, and then to be able to help support other folks, and also have a lot of people support me. So it's the tip of an iceberg of just so many people who have been so generous with their time and support and love to just help me do my work. And, hopefully I can do the best that I can to help others on that.
Record amount of women.
Yeah, in the house.
Yeah. Well, we have so many thoughts going, but what do you want to tell the kids? What do you want to tell the future generations? What do you want people to know? What's going on? Life advice.
Life advice? Okay. I have a note on this. Let me look into my life advice note.
Notes on everything. Voice memos always.
Yeah, I got
voice to text.
They capped me on advice or on notes. I have this one app. Oh, there it is. Whoa, this stuff is good. Can I read it from my phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's funny is that this is actually 9 different points, but I've divided it into 3 different categories. Know your value and your purpose. Because if you're doing something because you feel like you spent a lot of time on it and you have to keep doing it, if you hate it, don't do it.
Get out.
Yeah. But try a lot of things to figure out what you like doing and what you don't like doing. Protect your time.
Protect it.
Be worried about things and be stressed about things that you can control. But if things are out of your control, protect your time. Yeah. And find your support system, because nothing can be done alone. You got to reach out to people and have folks that you can lean on, especially when you're in the work of, movements and organizing and politics. Like you need a support system, because it's hard to really isolate yourself in that work. And then one other thing, failure is feedback.
Ooh, the FF.
Failure is feedback. I failed my last semester of college. I've been fired from a job.
I'm just like you.
I'm just like you. I mean, I internalized a lot of things where I felt like I messed up and I was a mistake, and oh no, everything I've been doing is ruined and I'm a bad person. It's feedback something's just not working out, and that's okay.
On to the next.
On to the next thing.
On to the better.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Good yap session.
Good yap.